Back in 2022, we had the opportunity to play a game called Manor Lords. We had this opportunity for a little while. There was a demo, and that demo didn't save anything. So the 4 videos that I put out back then on this game were all recorded in the same sitting, and I didn't play any of this since because I haven't been able to. It wasn't available. But I was very excited for the day that it would be available again. I said back then, I will say it now, Manor Lords might very well end up being one of my favorite games of the last few years and potentially the next couple of years. So it makes me very happy when I open my email inbox and I see something there that says Manor Lords, early access, key included, or key inside, Steam key. It said something like that. The key for this was provided for free. That's what I'm trying to get to. So full disclosure on that point, this video is not sponsored, nothing like that. I just got an opportunity to check out Manor Lords before it comes to Steam early access later this month for everybody to check out. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's start a new game. This is going to be chill. I've got my... I forgot I did this. I made what I think is quite possibly the best coat of arms that I could have made in the game. I genuinely forgot that I'd made this. I made this. I went and had some food. I got myself a drink, did some stretches because I'm going to be sitting down for some gaming for a few hours, and I came back and I've got this chicken. That's perfect. This is going to be my portrait. My name, Dylan Conflict. It's not actually my surname. People ask me that from time to time. It's not my real surname. That's just the name that I go for because I don't want to put my actual surname on here. It is out there on the internet, but anyway, that's besides the point. This is our coat of arms. This is me. Let's continue, and we're going to be dealing with the game setup. So, in the demo a year and a half ago, back in October 2022, I don't remember exactly what we were able to do, but now we have some choices to make. We have the rise to prosperity. The premise here is that you are going to fulfill the requirements of your citizens. You're going to plan and rule your medieval town as you see fit without worrying about combat. The victory conditions here will be to reach the large town settlement level. After that, you can continue in endless mode, which sounds pretty good to me. There's also restoring the peace. 2 territories in the north are claimed by the illegitimate baron, whose castle is located off the map. Bandit camps reside in the other unclaimed regions. Build and expand at your own pace. When ready, challenge the baron for the northern territories. Victory conditions: conquer every region. And then we have on the edge, grow your city and raise forces as quickly as you can. The lands are pastured by raiders, and undefended settlements will quickly perish. Victory conditions here: survive all the attacks and reach the large town settlement level. That sounds like hard mode to me, so we're gonna go for restoring the peace, which seems like a pretty good mix of both. You build, you conquer, you fight when you're ready. You build at your own pace. That sounds like a great idea. And then we can go in here and change the settings to whatever I really want them to be, which is basically what I'm gonna do. So, end goal is still domination. That's fine. AI opponents are off. That's a work in progress. There is an off-map adversary, and the AI aggressiveness is going to be balanced. I think we'll go for balanced. That seems fair. I don't know if I like the idea that they will press a claim towards my region if and when they run out of neutral regions, but that's what we're going to go for. The raider frequency is currently by default no more than a single raid every 2 years. I'm going to increase that to every 3 years. So every 3 years we might get raided. That's okay. We'll have 1 bandit camp by default. That might expand, and the spawn limit will be 3. So that's perfectly fine. We're going to start in the spring. We are starting with the standard amount of supplies. We have armament deliveries enabled, which is a free weapon delivery for militia as soon as you build a storehouse, and 5 residential plots. Residential requirements will be balanced, approval will be medium, And well placement will be... We could do unconstrained. That would mean I think I can place wells everywhere. Yeah, players may place wells everywhere without constraints. I'm going to go for underground water for that extra little bit of challenge. And with all of that out of the way, let's begin. And here we are. We are finally back in Manor Lords. I'm so excited to be doing this again. Let's go ahead and pause the game and read this new message. Build up your town, your manor, and when ready, press claims towards regions owned by your opponents. Once a claim has been pressed, be ready for battle. I will unite these lands under my rule. Yes, that's the idea here. In Manor Lords, families need food and fuel and a roof above their heads to survive. Supplies in the region panel above show how much you've got left. Okay, so that is all of this across the top of the screen. These are all of our supplies. This is the general stats over here on the right side. We can see my amazing coat of arms. It's my treasury, royal tax, king's favor, influence. I'm sure all of that will come into play. We're sort of going to be following through with the tutorial just so I can remember how to play this. I have put about 2 hours into Manor Lords in a different save just to remember how things work. So I'm not going in completely blind, or at least, you know, having not played this for a year and a half. I did put 2 hours in just to refresh myself, but let's see what we can do. We are starting, we can see all of my supplies up here. We've got a little bit of timber. We've got no planks. We have some stone, some tools, some wooden no wooden parts rather. No roof tiles and no blocks. We've got all of our people down here, which is fantastic. We have nickel. We have Peter. We've got nickel. We've got nickel. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. That guy's... Sir. Okay. All right. You know what? We're not going to look at their names. They might want to reconsider that one. The good news is we have a rich wild animal deposit right here. So we can get some hunters to get us some meat. We have a berry deposit right here, which is going to be some berries for some food. We have an iron deposit just over here. We've got a clay deposit just over here. And that looks to be about all that is in my region. If we zoom out further, this is the region map. This view shows you which regions are under whose control. You can press claims to other regions when you gain enough influence. So this one down here right in the corner is me. My neighbor has a rich stone deposit and a rich iron deposit, which would be good to use actually. Because if we look, my iron deposit has 208 units. This one has 3,500. Yeah, that'd be really nice to get my hands on. We also have a rich deposit of berries over here. So quite honestly, if I could expand and take these 3 regions, I'd be very happy. And that is possible. That's absolutely possible. There is a way to do that. I'm just not going to be doing it right now because we're just getting started, which means we might need to go to war for those at some point. But we have a lot of stone down here, which is great. So, construction. We have a lot of things to worry about right now. Every region in Manor Lords has strengths and weaknesses. Be sure to check out all the resource deposits as well as investigate the soil fertility before deciding on the direction of your town. If your region has weak fertility, consider setting up trade early. So let's have a look at underground water. We have what looks to be a little underground river going directly underneath here, which is perfect. We have emmer fertility. We have a good little bit over here. Flax fertility is not very good in my region. Barley, not very good either. Rye is pretty solid though, which is great. And then smell and fire hazards are works in progress. So at the very least, according to this, we don't smell, which I'll take as an absolute win. So let's go ahead and get started with some resources because we are going to need a logging camp. This is going to fell nearby trees to produce timber. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place, well, we have clay right here. We have iron right up there. I think I'm going to put this right in the middle. It's a little bit of a distance away from everything, but it would mean that I can get a nice straight line for my clay, my logs, and my iron just away from everything else that I'm going to build. So this guy, I'm going to rotate it around and it is going to live right about there. Actually, there. And that's going to use 2 timber to build that, which is totally fine. This thing will produce timber. And unassigned families will work in construction automatically. That's perfect. So we'll get that going. Timber requires oxen to be moved. Villagers will automatically get the ox when they need it. We have an ox right here at the hitching post, which is great, but the game is paused. We'll let the game sort of run at double speed while they get to work on the logging camp. And then I guess we also want to get our hands on a storehouse, because if it starts raining while all of my stuff is outside, that's going to be a problem. We could also use a granary, which is going to need some stone, but we have 20 of that, so that's fine. So let's get both of these, and you know what? Let's build a road. Some workplaces allow villagers to use hand carts to transport up to 10 goods at once. Pulling a hand cart off-road is extremely slow, so make sure to connect your buildings to roads. Absolutely. So what I think I'm going to do, we have this road right down here. I'm just going to bring a straight road right up through the middle of my little settlement, and that'll be perfectly fine. Now, I can connect all these things to that road. This thing, the hitching post, has actually automatically connected to it, but all of this will go away once I start getting some houses. So we'll have a road that comes up like that, but then what I'd also like to do is make sure it's connected to my my logging camp. So we could just sort of bring this straight over, and I think honestly that's exactly what I'm going to do. This road right here, we're going to continue in as much of a straight line as I can get, which I think is roughly that. They can overlap, which is totally fine. I think that I think people will use this. I've got no idea, but at the very least that means we can get out there nice and quickly, and it also gives me a really nice sort of backbone to build houses on. And that's something I'm really excited about, because building houses in Manor Lords is kind of great. But I'm getting a little bit carried away. Let's get ourselves a granary. And, well, you know, I think I'm going to build it. Where do I want to build it, actually? Maybe we bring, let's see. Let's bring another road off of here. And let's sort of cut out straight towards the clay thing. We'll build it out to there. And I think this is what we're going to build our granary on. So we'll go for this spot for the granary. In almost all cases, resources in Manor Lords have to be physically moved. It can take a moment, so feel free to change the game speed if you feel like doing it. Yeah, game speed's down here on the right. It's Z and X to change it with the keyboard, by the way. It took me a minute to go and look up the controls for that, but that's how you do it. And then across from this, we're going to build a storehouse. And basically, this is where we're going to store our food. This is where we're going to store our resources, and it means that if it rains, we aren't going to have to worry too much about our resources getting destroyed. So we'll go ahead and speed things up a little bit. This guy out here is being worked on. Let's bring the priority of that construction up a little bit. It does need another log, which is on its way. We can see the ox right here doing its best. And then this should be done in no time at all. It absolutely is. We also have quite a few things going on here. So this building has no assigned families. Select it and assign a family whenever you'd like to start production. Sure. While human workforce has to be assigned, by default, livestock workforce is shared between workplaces. However, you can bind it to a workplace permanently in the advanced tab. Just watch out so that you have unassigned oxen even if you have... Wait, just watch out so that you have unassigned oxen if you have construction going on. Can I assign animals to this? I can. Interesting. So that's something I wasn't aware of. I didn't know I could do that, but the reason you would want to do that is because obviously these guys are going out and getting logs. If we have an ox assigned to this, then no problem at all. You can just go and, you know, take it to storage yourself. So that's actually pretty good. That's something I'm going to keep in mind. Now, we are going to need some workers for this. Up at the top left, we can see we have 5 unassigned families, which is great. We have none assigned, so we'll go ahead and put 2 people to work in the logging camp, and that'll get us going with that thing pretty much immediately. What have we got here? I have heard of your renown. I only seek to defend my rights and my honor against those who would wrong me. I hope you will not judge me by the rumors and slanders that some may spread about me. Signed and sealed by my own seal, Hildebot von Berenut. Yeah, we'll go with that. I can write back to him. This is a new thing. That's interesting. So I guess this is, I mean, this is a work in progress. We can see right here, but I guess this is like diplomacy, right? I've played Civilization. I know how this goes. Yeah. I don't know if I want to reply to him like this, but you know what? Dear Hildebolt von Berenut, you have no rightful claim to Selbitz and Hofstetten. We'll send that to him. He's not going to be happy about it, I'm sure, but yeah. Wait, has he got both? Oh God, he's got both of those. Oh, might. I don't know if I want to upset a guy that has two territories right now, but apparently that's what we're doing. Now, we've got this thing going. We still have 3 people unassigned, so let's deal with some of the concerns that we have up here. We have exposed goods. We have exposed goods, both in terms of generic and pantry. So we'll go ahead, I guess, and I'm going to set both of these to be the highest priority construction, because the other problem that we have up here is homelessness. These people will wait for more burgage plots. It will cause a loss of approval and possibly freezing in the winter. So that's why I wanted this nice straight road, because what I can do, and this, like I said, this is like my favorite thing. You can build burgage plots, right? Some buildings have flexible borders. You can place 4 points to designate an area. This, you know what? It's probably just better to show you how this works, because this is the coolest thing. So you can build out like this, which I'm going to be honest, we don't need that much space, but we can go and we can get ourselves a really, really good looking space here. So if I go up something like this, we can go across like this, and you can see this is how you build houses. This is how the housing stuff works. So I'm not gonna build anything just yet, because as it turns out, we don't have any logs, which is fine. Oh, we got an autosave going on. That's fine. I think that's a change of a season, right? Yeah, it's coming into, oh no, it's spring still. We're fine. All right, I'll tell you what, let's speed things up a little bit. Let's get these guys working, hopefully. We do have them out here taking down trees, which is great. So soon enough, we should start to see some logs get moved into storage. There we go. So that's going to help us out nicely. That's going to mean that once we get a few more logs, I can go ahead and, well, actually, no, we're using the logs for construction down here. Regardless, we can go ahead and get some, you know, get a bit of a shift on is what I'm looking to do. So for the time being, let me go ahead and do a little something like this. Let me just bring a road right up to here so that this is a bit of a straight shot between the logging camp and the what do you call it, the storage down here. So that'll get that to be a little bit quicker, and that should mean that if I go back into construction and we go to burgage plots, we now have 9 timber in storage. I think we needed 10 for what I wanted to do. So for the time being, we'll start down this way. We'll go across like so. I'd like to get this at a really nice right angle, but I think this is about as good as I'm gonna get. I think it does. Oh, it does snap. Hold on. There's like a snap point there, I think. I don't know if it's actually snapping or if I'm imagining that, but you know what? We'll go for it. I'll go to about there. And that's going to give me 5 houses, which is actually what we need. We also get a little bit of expansion space at the back, which we can use for chickens. We can use it for sheep. We can use it for different things. So that's actually kind of perfect. So let's do that. We'll set that to be constructed. That's going to be 5 houses. And that's a system. You don't need right angles like this to make this work. This is a system that you can use on sort of any shape. Also, we have this issue. Exposed stocks are getting soaked. That's my supplies down here. So that's going to be my bread. That's going to be my firewood. And actually, speaking of bread, we should immediately start looking into to food production. So let's have a little bit of a look at gathering here. So a forager's hut is going to be pretty good to have. I think what I'll do is bring myself just a little road sort of out to here. And then for this guy, actually looking at this, can I be a little bit cheeky and do a right angle like this? And then bring you out something like this. I'm basically playing City Skylines in Manor Lords is what I'm doing. But you know, it's gonna look good. We don't have to do right angles, but I'm doing right angles anyway. So for the forager hut, we need 1 timber, 1 log to build it. So I'm going to place that guy right about here. It's got berries just over this way, which is great. And then for the hunting camp, what do we need for you? We need, there's no construction cost. That's fantastic. So the hunting camp, if we put it here, it's going to cause migration. So you don't want to put it in the area where the animals are. You want to have it sort of nearby. So if I put it right here and we go ahead and prioritize this, we can have these guys hunting all of the wild animals in here. We can have these guys getting the berries from here. And that's going to be a pretty decent source of food, which, by the way, We only have 2 months worth of food left. So let's speed things up a little bit. Let's get this construction moving. And let's hopefully get ourselves into a situation where we're going to have more than just 2 months of food here. So we'll go ahead and get a hunter so that we can hopefully start bringing that in. And that's hopefully going to keep us good. This guy down here, I want to make that a bit of a higher priority than the houses, because again, food is sort of essential. So we'll get that going. We still have 2 unassigned families, which means those families are going to be working as builders and haulers and things like that, which is fine. So this guy's up and going. Let's assign 1 person to do some gathering. And there was a demand there. Family requests more market areas for their stalls. So this is another area that we can go and build that's similar to the, what do you call it? The burgage plots. So a marketplace provides space for the assigned families to set up their stalls and distribute their produce to the burgage plots. A healthy supply and demand ratio of goods is needed to fulfill residential requirements and keep approval high. So basically, what I want to do is get myself a market. Get myself a nice little market. So I'm going to build a market between these buildings because I think that's kind of a fantastic spot for it. It'd be nice if I could sort of do it back here. I could, if I wanted to, just do a giant market space back there, but I don't think we need a giant market space. I think what we'll do is just build something that goes maybe to there. I think, what's that going to give us? 6 market stall locations. It's not terrible. What if I was to just do a market sort of right behind this guy? So something like, let's see, something like this. That is 32 market stall locations. I don't know that we're ever going to need 32 market stalls in this little area right now. That might be a little bit excess. I also don't know what I need to build this. So I'll tell you what, let's not get too carried away. And let's just go for, I wish I could, can I get this to not snap to roads? Is that a thing I can do? No, this always, I think, needs to snap to roads, unfortunately. So in that case, let's see, there's a snap point there. If I bring you to about, say, there, so roughly that spot, bring it across, bring it down. That's going to give me how many stalls? 20. That's probably enough. So let's build that. And as that gets going, we'll turn road snapping back on. Let me see. Homeless will move to the plot, and if approval is high enough, it might attract new families too. However, families need more than just space to be happy. Click on the building to check on their residential requirements. Okay. Also, oh, hello, supply and demand. A well-supplied marketplace is the lifeblood of your town. Assigned families will set up stalls automatically, as long as there is enough space in the market. Hover over specific categories to check your current supply and demand. Burgage plots closest to the market get their market requirements fulfilled first. So basically, these guys can level up. That's a whole other thing. But in order to do that, they're going to need access to water. They need church. They need fuel. They need food. They need 2 sources of food, and they need clothing. So we have a lot of things we need to do, including, as I just mentioned, a well. So let's just get ourselves a well. Maybe just right next to the market would be a good place for it. We'll go for right there for the well. We'll make that a bit of a top priority just so people can. Oh, I can connect the market to the. Interesting. Okay. Well, I didn't know I could connect the backside of the market to the roads, but we'll go ahead and do that because that seems like a great idea. We'll go ahead and get ourselves a little road right here as well, which connects the well. And then this extra little bit here, I kind of want to get rid of, which unfortunately just got rid of way more than I wanted it to. So you know what? We'll bring you. Let's bring you to there. Yeah, that should be fine. Can I just like get rid of that bit of road? There's what I'm looking to do. So if I do this, that reconnects everything. There we go. So that looks fine. We have the food stall right here, which should keep people happy. That'll start, distributing food to all of my people. No storage space left for production at the hunting camp. Interesting. So they have got meat, they have got hides. That's good. So hopefully all of that makes its way around, and hopefully all of that ends up being used for whatever. We've got the well here, which should, yep, water access is covered. Food supplies are covered. So fuel and clothes are kind of the next things, but before we even get there, I kind of want to secure a little bit more food. So I want to have a look at farming is what I want to do. So fields, space to grow crops, including wheat, flax, and barley. To employ peasants in fields, you need to build a farmhouse, which is this guy. The field has no construction cost. The farmhouse is 3 timber. We have 26 logs up here, so we're totally fine. So what I'd like to do is, let's see, fields and manor lords need to be very large to be effective, but also take a long time to plow by hand. For a starting village, try a field size of about 1 morgan. I don't know if they're making that up or if that's actually a thing, but yeah, we'll go with 1 morgan. Later, if you want the region to focus on farming, you can consider spending a development point to unlock the heavy plow upgrade, which allows plowing much bigger fields far more efficiently utilizing oxen. Also remember to check the ground fertility. Some crop types are more picky about the soil they grow on. So basically, don't overdo it. Now, we could see, if I remember right, rye was pretty good around here, and emmer was pretty good out here as well. So, I mean, I don't know what we're actually growing. I don't think we're growing. I don't know if we're growing any of those, to be quite honest with you. So, what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna extend a road out here. Something a little bit like, wait, where was that fertile spot? It's like right here. Oh man, maybe I just build a big square. What does this look like if I just, what size are we looking at right now? I think this is already going to be too big. So 0.8, 1.5. I can get away with 1.5 Morgan. I think that's fine. I think we can deal with that. That looks relatively fertile. So yeah, build that. Gets rid of some trees. That's fine. The farmhouse employs families who work on the fields. The workforce is distributed proportionally in accordance with the field's set priority level. When crops are growing, they absorb certain nutrients from the soil, temporarily lowering its fertility, and thus diminishing yields over time. To combat this, consider changing crop types, or even better, leaving the field fallow for a year. So basically, we might want to go in here and say, hey, wheat grows really nicely, but maybe next year we fallow it. I'm not going to do that though, because it's May. I don't know if we're going to be planting this year, so we're going to have it fallowed in 2 years' time. That's totally fine. So that's going to be our first field. Can I get a road sort of nicely along the side of this? It certainly looks like I can, which I want to do. I want to bring this guy, this road right here, sort of straight out, as much of a straight line as I can get, which that looks to be. So we have that connection. And then what I'm going to do is get myself a farmhouse, and it's just going to live, I guess, right here. That seems like a really good place for it. So we'll do a farmhouse right there, and that'll be great. So that's going to be a source of wheat, this field right here. We're going to need a windmill to turn that wheat into flour, and then a communal oven to turn it into bread. Do I want those things to be near my town, or do I want those things to be out here? I guess the oven could probably be near the town. I don't know. Convert grain to when wheat is threshed into grain at the farm, it can be processed further into flour and bread. Do I want storage out here? Is that a thing we can do? I hadn't really thought about this, but I could build a storehouse. I'm pretty sure if I go to my storehouse and I go to advanced, yeah. So I can just tell this thing, first off, to have a limited work area, but second off, can I limit it so it's resource crops, flax and barley, crafting materials? It doesn't seem to have anything listed about wheat, which is really unfortunate. I guess I can't necessarily limit what I want in here. That's okay. I'm sort of okay with that. I guess what we'll do is, what do I want to do? That's the question. I guess I'm going to do a windmill out here. I think a windmill right by this farm would look great. So I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Windmill right about there. And then the communal oven's a cute little building that can hopefully, can it fit in there? No, that's really unfortunate. It looks like it could though. I'm going to turn off snap to roads for a second because I'm not entirely convinced I can't fit this thing. Yeah, look at this. That's such a good little, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on a minute. Demolish that. I want to get it in there, just not quite like that. There's what I'm looking for. So something like this is absolutely perfect. So go ahead and make, well, none of those need to be a priority really. We are running out of fuel though, which is something I totally forgot about. So let's look at gathering again. A woodcutter's lodge will fell nearby trees to produce firewood. So do I want to do that? I probably don't want to do that where I'm chopping down trees for timber. So I'm thinking we could do the woodcutter's lodge sort of down this way. So we have these trees back here and that, well, actually thinking about it. Oh, wow. These guys have chopped down a lot of trees already. If I did put the woodcutter out here, there is another building. There's a forester's hut. This worker will plant new trees in specified zones. I could just, I don't know, chop all of this stuff down and then have someone replanting it. I think realistically, we're going to do it here. I think that's a fair spot. And then I do also want that forester's hut. So the forester is going to go right about there and that'll be great. We also still need this this burgage plot to get built. So let's get that going nice and quickly because we still have one person that's homeless. And we also happen to have, let's see here. If we look at construction right now, we have 18 timber. So I think it might be a great idea to get our hands on another set of houses. Can I get something nice and parallel here? That is not bad. We'll go ahead and confirm that. Then we'll rotate it so we have road access. And suddenly I'm not as interested because that did not look quite as good. We'll go for something a bit more square, I think. Swing it around. That gives us 3 slightly larger plots. And then this one sort of weird space over here, but that could be a market or something. So yeah, let's build this. And that'll give us a nice little bit of room to expand and hopefully grow the population. Because again, we only have 5 families. Only one of them's unassigned. So we'll speed things up. There's a lot of construction to be done right now. There's not a lot of resources. Oh, wait, no. We have a month of fuel. We have 10 months of food. So we're okay. That's all right. We've also just done a lot of things. We just got a bunch of weapons added to our storage. To get more population, you need to have enough empty burgage plots, and your approval needs to be over 50%. Well, it's 45% right now. We'll be fine. A strong militia is paramount to the survival of any settlement. Luckily, a shipment of weapons has just arrived, and you will now be able to create your first militia banners to serve you and protect your people. However, we will need more weapons to equip all the people as the settlement grows, either by making them or importing them from other lands. Okay, we will form a militia shortly. I'm not really in any major rush to do that, but we can start to specialize things a little bit. After you reach the next settlement level, you will be granted a development point to spend. Unlock development branches to make your region more efficient. To enact policies, you need to rise your administration level by building administrative buildings like the manor. So we can't touch policies right now. We can do development. And we have some choices. So we could get orchards. We could have sheep that breed. We could get the heavy plow, but we would need more oxen, which is going to mean that I'd need to open up trade, which we're not going to be doing just yet. Foreign suppliers, I don't think we need either. Trade logistics will, establishing a new trade route always costs a maximum of 25 regional wealth. Maybe. Beekeeping. Workers collect honey. Every region can sustain up to 2 apiaries by default. Placing more will not increase the yield. Double the capacity of all berry deposits. Or enable hunters to skillfully lay traps in the forest, which will give a passive income of meat. Interesting. This is very tempting. A passive income of meat sounds like a really, really good way to make sure that my people are fed. So I'm torn between that and beekeeping. I don't know if admittedly, beekeeping is another type of food, so that's actually going to keep them a little bit happier because that's food variety. I've never played around with beekeeping. In the 2 hours that I put into the game before I hit the record button, I did trapping, and I then went into, I think I did I think I did trade logistics because I was dabbling with trade at that point as well. But we'll try beekeeping. Haven't ever done anything with beekeeping. I've got no idea how it works, so this will be exciting for me at the very least. I've, again, absolutely no idea how it works. Let's see. Construction cost needs planks. Okay. Well, that's going to need a saw pit, which will transform timber into planks. Timber is also quite good for trade. So this might actually be quite good for me. I think what we'll do is place the saw pit down here. It's a little bit of a ways away from things though, so maybe the saw pit should go by my storage. That might be a better place for it. We could put it back here as well. We could put it back here. I don't think it really matters where I put the saw pit. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think it's quite this deep. So, you know what? We're just going to place it here for the time being. I'm getting a little bit carried away with where everything's going to go. Aesthetics don't matter right now. That's for future me to worry about. We're not going to concern ourselves with the aesthetics of things too much right now. We'll just, there's so much to build. There is so much stuff to build. We still have this farmhouse. We still have the windmill. You know what? The farmhouse needs to be a priority. We're not going to work this field this year. It is already June. We're also looking at a year, 13 months worth of food and no months of fuel. So you know what? Let's resources stolen by bandits, 13 meat. That knocked 3 months out. Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's also, let's increase the priority of the woodcutter's lodge. That seems like a good idea as well. This thing's actually being built, which is fine. What else have we got going on? So that's just some supplies. I would like those to be hauled, but that's okay. Wait, disease. People suffering from disease may stop working. Access to herbs might speed up the recovery, while a varied diet increases disease resistance. I don't think anyone is diseased. I think it's just a case of like, hey, here's how it works. I'm also pretty sure, yeah, if we can get some planks, we can spend 25 gold and 2 planks to grow some herbs at the forager hut. So probably not a bad idea. In fact, definitely not a bad idea. That's going to help people just be a little bit healthier, which is going to be great. This is also built up, which is great as well, but I'm not going to assign anybody to it because we only have one unassigned person. And that's basically my hauler and my builder. So let's play it safe and let's be a little bit careful with things. What I will say is that I am quite happy that we're not starving to death. That's definitely nice. We actually do seem to have a pretty good supply of food as well. We are only halfway through the first year. We're just getting started, but I'll be honest, first time I played Manor Lords, I don't even think I really got this far before people started dying. And when I came back to this to put those 2 hours in, the first half hour or so was definitely a little bit sketchy. So we're definitely doing okay right now, which makes me very happy. I would like to get these houses going. It would be nice to get those going, get the approval rating up a little bit and start to grow the population. The food variety at the market is definitely making people happy. So the longer we can keep that going, the better. We also do have the houses coming in now, which is great. And I guess we're going to have to start looking at improving that happiness a little bit. Oh no, my approval rating is now, I think construction finished, approval rating 50%. Does that mean that we're growing 51%? Yes. We have low population growth, which is fantastic. So the variety of food at the market has made people happy. We should start to see soon enough some people coming in. We have the houses available for them as well, which is great news. So we should, in theory, be able to grow things really, really nicely, which is just fantastic. So here's what I'm thinking we need to do. We need to look at this woodcutter and we need to make sure. So you're the firewood guy, and that's totally fine. The saw pit, I want to say that I want a reserve of 20 logs is what I want. So that basically we're never going to go below that. This guy's not going to be eating up all of my logs, and that's definitely going to be a good thing. We've also got the windmill coming together out here, which is great. We also just had a save, which means that I think we are slowly, we're moving into the autumn, which is scary. It's definitely a little bit scary, but we have food for 20 months. We have fuel for 4 months. If we can keep that going, we'll be in a really, really good place. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to leave it there for part 1 of the series. This is going to be going on for a little while. I'm really excited about this. I got 4 videos out of Manor Lords. The first time I got to play it, resource stolen by bandits. That's not good. I'm excited to see where we can go with this, because there's combat and stuff like that now. That wasn't a thing in the demo. So I'm very, very excited about that. We also have some full storage. Is the saw pit full? Wait, what's full? Excess goods need to be... Who's complaining about things being full? Is it you? It might be you. Regardless, regardless, I'm going to leave it there for part 1 of Manor Lords. This is, like I said, it's going to be a thing. There'll be more of it either later or tomorrow. It's going to be quite regular for the next little while. So if you're new around here, do feel free to stick around and enjoy as we go on this little adventure with the best, frankly, the best coat of arms that I could have made in the game. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.